They include former governors or deputy governors who are supposed to be invited, who were not invited. But at least there were many others who ought to be invited, who ought to have been invited, who were duly invited. And therefore, everything considered, I like to say that I think they substantially comply with the requirement of convening that state executive. At the meeting, and this is no secret, I expect that some of your media houses will have video clips of what transpired at that meeting, because it wasn't a closed-door meeting. It was an open meeting. Governor Amosu, in his wisdom, decided to introduce a third element, which didn't feature in the resolutions of the National Executive Council. He announced that Ogun State was going to adopt consensus, and he proceeded to define what, in his view, constitutes consensus. And having defined it to mean the pronouncement by the governor, he went on to announce what, according to him, represents the consensus candidate. He announced one, I believe Akindele or someone, Akinlade, I said that Akinlade will be the next governor. He is the consensus governor. He proceeded to announce another gentleman who he said will be the deputy governor, consensus. He went on to proclaim himself as the next senator, consensus. And he says the current senator in his own senatorial zone, Senator Pt.2, will step aside so that he, Ibikula Amosu, at the end of his tenure as governor, will proceed to the Senate. According to him, this is his own consensus. He went on to also announce that the second senator, also from Ogun State, will step aside, and another gentleman will come in place of that senator. And according to him, this pronouncement is a consensus. Not done, Governor Amosu went on to announce a particular gentleman who will be the next speaker. He went on to announce another one who will be the next deputy speaker of the State House of Assembly. Governor Amosu, according to him, in his own view or definition of consensus, also unilaterally pronounced that of the 8 sitting House of Representative members, 7 will not return, according to him. Only 1 will return. This, he claimed, is a consensus. He went on to list other members of the House of Assembly who will seek re-election and those who will not seek re-election. All told, he announced about 40 names, which, according to him, constitute consensus. The good people of Ogun State easily be one of the states that you can readily describe, not flattering, as perhaps the most sophisticated politically state in Nigeria. And we can't forget that that is the state that produced the great Obafemi Awolowo. And I don't think I need to say more in terms of tracing the history and the level of political enlightenment and sophistication of the great people of Ogun State. Now, when he was done with this unilateral pronouncement, exactly the manner that an emperor will do to his subject in a feudal society, the people of Ogun State who were in that meeting instantly rejected the decision, the unilateral imposition by Governor Amosu. And they took advantage of the fact that they are aware that we are in a democracy. They all have copies of the APC constitution. Nothing in that constitution empowers a governor to decree who will be the next governor or decree who will be the next senator in the manner with which Amosu did it. And so they all in unison rejected Amosu's one-man imposition. Governor Amosu, unable to recognize that in a democracy, it's a game of numbers, not a game of power, he went on angrily to announce that if they do not accept this imposition, then they should be ready to go for direct primaries. And the people will say, yes, they prefer and they are ready to go for direct primaries. Consequent upon this decision, the state organ of the party wrote to the NWC through my office, the chairman, to inform me that they are going to do direct primaries. And of course, as servants of the party, and in line with the resolution of the NEC, we immediately accepted this decision. But few days before the primaries were due, Governor Musu, along with few other governors, called me to a meeting at which Amosu and one or two others insisted that Amosu Padua said that he was not going to do primaries. He will not do direct primary. He went on to say all kinds of things which I will spare you the details. But I just replied him that it is not up to him, or indeed up to me, or anyone in APC, to decide whether or not primaries will be conducted. First, these are orders provided for in the Electoral Act. They are also acknowledged in our party constitution. And we run the party on the basis of our rules, not on the basis of the party. And I respectfully try to persuade Amosu and those who think like him that it was not within the powers of any governor or group of governors to nullify the decision of the National Executive Council. And therefore, I shall proceed to provide leadership in setting up various committees by the National Working Committee that will conduct elections across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. We proceeded to empanel a committee by the NWC that we dispatched to Ogun State to conduct the direct primaries. On arrival in Ogun State, the committee, in their wisdom, decided to pay Governor Musu a courtesy visit. I'm not sure that that was necessary, but in their judgment, they did. Having paid a courtesy visit, the governor provided a hall for the panel to invite all the aspirants that had been assembled to discuss the mode and the rules of procedure in the conduct of the direct primaries. While this meeting was going on, again, this is no secret. Every media house here, I believe, you have your brothers and sisters in Ogun State. Minutes into the meeting, agents of the state government unleashed thuggery, and they were shooting, firing weapons, and everybody ran for safety, including the aspirants, some of whose names were being mentioned by these thugs that they will kill them, and they all ran away, and the panel members also escaped back to their hotel. As a result of that, the pre-election conference, which was supposed to have taken place on that Monday, in order to brief the aspirants and their agent on the rules of procedure, that meeting was inconclusive. So it was subsequently adjourned to the following Tuesday. That Tuesday, they met, they agreed on the rules, they got vehicles ready to convey the election materials, as well as those returning officers in the various wards where these elections were meant to be done, because they were direct primaries to be conducted at the ward headquarters. Amosu suddenly at the last meeting, Governor Amosu, His Excellency Governor Musu, the executive governor of Ogun State, decided that he and his own preferred aspirant will not participate in the primaries, and even tried to withdraw the security that was necessary for these people to be able to conduct the primaries and ensure that there was no violence. Fortunately, this panel is headed by a retired commissioner of police who is familiar with security issues. And they proceeded to conduct the primaries with Governor Musu and his preferred candidate opting out of the process, and the rest went on to conduct the primaries. And they submitted the result to us here, and as well, the result sheets, as well as a report, including how thugs were unleashed on them, and those who they suspected were behind the use of those thugs. This report was considered by the National Working Committee, and we find it to be in total compliance with the guidelines, and the NWC accepted the result of that panel that nominated Prince Abiodun, what's his surname now? Dapo Abiodun, as the duly elected candidate of the All Progressive Congress in the forthcoming governorship election in Ogun State.